Welcome. My name is Tobi Akinnubi from the stables of the Yoruba Times Media Organization. We have the news highlights for this week. Igbo man arrested for declaring himself Obi of Lagos 1.5 billion palace scam fraud. Lagos government justifies Oronshoki demolition, says residents ignored warnings. Okunlan under siege. Yoruba communities in Kogi State cry out as kidnappings escalate. Nursing Council ends 3 strikes policy for student nurses. TUC OPS rejects proposed 5% fuel levy, one of possible strike. And from the foreign scene, conservative activist Charlie Kirk fatally shot at university event. And in the world of sports for this week, Nigeria Super Eagles struggled in 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And now we have the news in details. The Lagos State Police Command has arrested Chibuike Azubike, 65 years old from Imo State, who allegedly paraded himself as the so-called Obi of Lagos. He was arrested alongside 3 accomplices, Chiguzo Ani, Martins Nwaodika, and Ikechukwu Nadi. After security operatives forward plans to unveil the 1.5 billion naira prototype palace for the imaginary throne of Apu and Muodofin, police stormed the venue, sealed it off, and deployed tactical teams to prevent the controversial event from holding. The suspects are now in custody at the Lagos State Command Headquarters in Ikeja, facing interrogation over what authorities describe as a deliberate attempt to distort history and incite public disturbances. The incident has sparked widespread outrage across Yoruba land. Cultural leaders condemned the move as a brazen insult to Yoruba heritage and praised the Lagos State Ministry of Tourism and Culture for acting swiftly to protect the state's dignity. Officials stressed that Lagos belongs to the Yoruba people and warned that no impostor will be allowed to impose a foreign throne on its soil. Though Lagos State government has defended its demolition of structurally unsafe buildings in Oronshoki, saying residents were given several years of notice before the exercise began. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Urban Development, Gbolahan Owodunni, Oki told community members on Monday that only one building in the affected area had proper approval, whilst most others were illegal and distressed. Oki explained that officials had used radio announcements and repeated notifications for more than 3 years, but many residents ignored the warnings, as even bullied government staff sent to mark defective structures. He said the state could not continue to delay development projects because of non-compliance, stressing that similar urban renewal initiatives had already been carried out in other communities. The permanent secretary added that demolished buildings were already in danger of collapse, warning that government would not take the blame for preventable tragedies. He urged residents to cooperate with authorities, emphasizing that Lagos will not tolerate nonsense from anybody in the state. The Yoruba-speaking region of Kogi State, known as Okunlan, is facing a deepening security crisis as communities reel from months of violent attacks, kidnappings, and killings. Residents say the wave of assaults, which has persisted for more than 7 months, has displaced families, disrupted livelihoods, and left entire communities in fear. The latest violence occurred on Tuesday when gunmen attacked Egbe town in Yagba West local government area, killing 2 police officers instantly and later murdering 2 others who had been abducted. That same day, armed men ambushed a local vigilante group, killing 2 members and intercepted an 18-seater bus along the Lokoja Ogbajana Road, kidnapping every passenger on board. The escalating attacks have crippled farming and trade in the region, with food prices soaring as access to farmlands and highways becomes increasingly unsafe. Outrage is growing among Yoruba leaders in Kogi and beyond, who are urging both the Kogi state and federal government to intervene swiftly. Observers warn that the persistent neglect of Okun's land plight could push the once peaceful area into lawlessness. The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, NMCN, has abolished its long-standing 3-strike policy that dismissed student nurses after failing professional qualifying examinations 3 times. Under the new rules, candidates will now be allowed to resit only the sections they failed rather than retaking the entire exam or facing dismissal. Registrar of the Council, Dr. Farouk Umar Abubakar, announced the policy change at the stakeholders meeting in Abuja on Monday. He said the decision followed consultations with education providers, regulators, and professional associations, adding that the old system placed unnecessary pressure on students and contributed to high attrition rates in nursing schools. The revised framework is expected to improve retention, create a fairer testing process, and help strengthen Nigeria's health workforce amid a shortage of nurses and midwives. Students and stakeholders have welcomed the announcement, describing it as a major relief for aspiring practitioners. The Trade Union Congress, TUC, has given the federal government a 14-day ultimatum to withdraw the proposed 5% fuel subsidy or face a nationwide strike. TUC leaders Festus Osifo and Nuhu Toro described the levy as economic injustice, warning it would worsen the economic hardship already caused by inflation, subsidy removal, and the naira's depreciation. The sausage, set to take effect in January 2026 under the Nigeria Tax Administration Act, will apply to petrol and diesel but exclude cleaner alternatives like cooking gas and compressed natural gas. Government officials argued the levy is intended to fund road maintenance through the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA. However, the organized private sector, including the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, has joined Labour in rejecting the measure. LCCI President Gabriel Idahosa cautioned that it would increase transportation costs and negatively impact businesses. Analysts have warned that if negotiations fail, the strike would disrupt fuel supply and paralyze transportation nationwide. And from the foreign scene this week on our news around the world, Charlie Cake, a 31-year-old conservative activist and a co-founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot on September 10, 2025, while speaking at a public event at Utah Valley University. The shooting occurred during Cake's American comeback tour under a tent where he took audience questions. A single bullet struck him in the neck. He was rushed to Timpanogo's Regional Hospital, where he was later confirmed dead. Authorities say the shots came from a rooftop, and law enforcement has released surveillance images of a person of interest believed to have been seen fleeing the area. Investigators recovered a bolt-action rifle, a palm print, shoe footwear impressions, and other trace evidences. A federal manhunt is underway. The suspect remains at large. Officials have asked the public for tips. The killing has triggered widespread reactions. President Donald Trump has announced that Cake will be posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Public figures across the political spectrum condemned the violence, calling it a stark reminder of rising political tensions in the United States. Coming this week in the world of sports, Nigeria's 2026 World Cup qualifying campaign suffered a setback after the Super Eagles were held 1-1 by South Africa in Bloemfontein. And one goal by Captain William Troost-Ekong gave the host the lead, but Calvin Bassey leveled for Nigeria just before halftime with a header. With this result, Nigeria remained in third place in Group C with 11 points from 8 matches, while South Africa hold first place with 17 points. The draw makes Nigeria's path to automatic qualification much steeper. They must win their remaining games and rely on South Africa dropping points. Analysts say Nigeria can blame no one but themselves for missing early opportunities in the campaign, including draws against lower-ranked teams. They have eroded their margins for error. Without a dramatic turnaround, their chances of even making the intercontinental playoff are fading fast. And that is all we have for you this week on our news around the world. For more news and media updates, you can follow our pages on X and on Facebook at The Yoruba Times. And of course, you can visit our website at www.theyorubatimes.com. See you next week.